The New York Democratic primary was a huge victory for Mayor Zoran Mamdani. His candidates, Daria-Lisa Chevalier, Brad Lander, and Claire Valdez, swept all 3 congressional races and took down 2 incumbent members of Congress. That never happens. That's historic. But the drama that's unfolding is way bigger than New York. It's about a change that's happening in the Democratic Party and throughout the country that can no longer be denied. The Democratic base is sick and tired of Democratic candidates who won't fight like hell for their values. That's why Mamdani won in New York City and why Janice Lewis-George won in Washington, D.C. You see, Democrats are going through the same process of rebranding that Republicans went through 10 years ago with Trump. Back then, Republicans were angry after 8 years of Obama, and they wanted the party to speak to that rage at that black guy. When Trump channeled their prejudices, Republican leaders claimed he did not represent the values of the party. But we all knew he did. He just dragged them out of the closet. That's what's happening in reverse with the Democratic Party. The Democratic establishment says the leftists and the Democratic Socialists don't represent the party. And that may be true for now, but the people who used to be the base of the party don't care about those labels, especially the young voters being priced out of the American dream. They care about jobs, healthcare, schools, housing, and affordability. And they care about justice and values. Call it whatever derogatory name you want, but the base wants results. And they want to win. By a 2-to-1 margin, Democratic voters last year said they wanted their leaders to fight, not compromise. And this is happening at the same time that half of younger voters now identify as independent. And 62% of Americans say the country needs a third party. True, what happens in New York doesn't necessarily translate to Oklahoma or Wyoming, but New York may be the canary in the coal mine. Democrats can't keep running up safe candidates, expect voter obedience, and a 2-party system can't hold a permanent monopoly on power. Those days are numbered. The lesson for Republicans with Trump in 2016 is the lesson for Democrats with Mamdani in 2026. If the party won't give the base what they want, the base will find the people who will.
Yep. And folks, guess what they're saying on Fox News about this? I was in the gym this morning, and because we've got all these Democrats who are, they love to use the term socialist, but they always forget to talk about how Republicans are socialists for corporations and rich people. They don't never say that part. But when it comes to middle class and poor who actually need help, they love to throw the term socialist around on Fox News. And they're saying on Fox News that the Democrats are having a socialist hangover, a socialist crisis. Shut up. You Republicans are the reason we're stuck in this bad economy because you keep giving socialism to the rich people. You keep letting the rich people use the taxpayers' money, pillory it, destroy it, blow it, go build whole islands where they traffic women. But the people who actually need it, you want them to think it's something bad when we should be spending on those folks who need it. The folks who need it the most deserve it the most, not the folks who already have it. Folks, welcome to the channel. We're going to get this thing started. It's going to be that kind of day. Let's get going.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right, everybody. You're in the building with the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful, all DEI, all woke, all supportive of LGBTQ+, all supportive of strong, educated women. Just damn all everything sexy as hell. Host this channel, me, Lamont Tyson. And what do we do on this channel, ladies and gentlemen? On this channel, we debunk all the myths that have been put in place by the white people in power who put constructs in place to keep the middle class and poor from progressing. They tell you things like strap up your bootstraps and tighten your belt. When's the last time you've seen a corporation do that on behalf of the American people? They force religion down your throat and then turn around and tell you you're un-American if you go against Christian nationalism. We debunk all that bull jive that keeps the poor and middle class fighting each other so that our eyes go away from what the real fight is, and that's who's controlling the tax dollars. Please be sure to subscribe. I do have a channel for where I trade stocks. It is this one. So every day you don't see me here, I am trading stocks at 9:35, win by losing in stocks. And I also have this channel right here, as to which I review movie and TV shows, because that's kind of what got me into the YouTube game in the first place. Let's talk about the first subject. So Adam Schiff has been a thorn in MAGA's side from day one. He's a quiet thorn. He's a senator. And he just released his own report about an individual that Trump released from prison, who went to prison, folks. Get this. You'll be shocked. He went to prison because he was scamming people out of money. Trump pardoned his ass. Take a listen to Adam Schiff. It just makes you wonder, the people who still support Trump, do they hear this news? Maybe they don't. But when they do, are they okay with it? Are they okay to continue to hurt people as long as Trump makes them feel good through their hate? Take a look at this.
Do you know who this is? That's David Gentile. He defrauded investors of $1.6 billion. So why was he granted clemency by Donald Trump? Let's break it down. So Gentile defrauds thousands and thousands of mom and pop investors of $1.6 billion. He's convicted, and some of the people he defrauded had their retirement savings in his investments. He's sentenced to 7 years in jail, required to pay $15 million in restitution. And then what happens? Well, he goes to jail for 2 weeks, and then Donald Trump commutes his sentence. He gets out of jail. The $15 million that he owes the federal government is wiped off the slate. So what happened? Why did David Gentile get this great commutation from Donald Trump? Probably because of this guy. That's Reverend Frank Mann. Reverend Frank Mann is a retired Catholic priest from New York City. He did the benediction, you might or might not remember, at Donald Trump's inauguration. Well, David Gentile talked about, while he was in custody, talked about paying $2.5 million to people who could help him get a commutation from Donald Trump. So DOJ launches an investigation into whether somebody paid either this retired Catholic priest or someone else $2.5 million in order to get David Gentile sprung from prison with a full commutation of his sentence. And guess what happens? The Department of Justice makes that investigation go away. So in the U.S. Attorney's Office, I was looking into whether there was some kind of shady financial transaction that got this guy sprung. DOJ puts an end to it. So what's the deal? Are pardons and commutations for sale in the Trump administration?
I mean, is it not obvious? Ladies and gentlemen, let's put this guy up here. This is the guy who defrauded probably your grandmother, your aunties, your uncles. Some of them people that you see standing at the door at Walmart who should be retired got defrauded by this POS. MAGA, Trump folks. Dare I even ask you a rhetorical question? Why do you still support this? It's rhetorical. You don't got to answer. I know why you support it. Because you would rather have hate than food on your plate. You would rather see equality. And equality, folks, when we talk about it, it's not just leveraging the playing field for minorities. Equality is so that bums like this guy get equal justice too, meaning that you don't go to jail for 2 weeks after you defraud people for billions. Your ass rots in prison for 30, 40, 50 years. You just made people's lives uncomfortable for the rest of their life. And for that, because you had enough money, you're able to get out of jail, you pay your restitutions, and you keep on marching. His punishment did not fit the crime. He should be in jail forever. His money should have been taken away. But no, only in America do we allow the people at the top too much power. And it's like this. They have the money. They have the power to set the policy. And then when they have the power to set the policy, do you think those policies are going to favor anyone if you're not fucking rich or a corporation? No. That's why you're seeing a transition in the Democratic Party. That's why you're seeing people getting away from voting from corporate Democrats to people who only take money from voters. And that's what we need more of in this country. This is pathetic. And this is the height of hypocrisy, the height of a problem in America, the height of corruption. And it's one thing to see our leaders do it. It's another thing to see the very people you walk around each and every day still clapping like a fucking circus seal, happy for it. Those are the problems, folks. And we've got to find a way to eradicate these type of people so that we do get back to equitable justice. If justice was equitable, this guy would, I ain't gonna say he's facing the death penalty, but he certainly ain't gonna get out of jail. He certainly wouldn't have enough money to pay for $2.5 million to get Trump to pardon him, commute his sentence. Come on, man. Folks, post your comments. Let me know what you think. This is just pathetic. And folks, I am going to dedicate, let me show you his face again. That's him, David Gentile. And I mean, doesn't he just look like a used car salesman? One of those guys you used to see back in my day on late night bad TV. He he is all that. Commuted by Trump, folks. Commuted by Trump. Moving right along, people. The next segment of this video is dedicated to another atrocity that is happening in America. And that is the takeover of pretty much every media, paper, press, news organization by MAGA right wing. Because keep in mind, they have the money, they have the power. It's a two-wielding sword for them. And when you do that, you set the policy, and then you have us folks who ain't multimillionaires squabbling for the scraps that's left. That's how they want it. But folks, we have a power to take it. And it's up to me and the people I'm going to introduce you guys to help this voice is going. And so I do a segment on my channel called The Best Progressive Voices, Black Women, Black Men, White Males, so forth and so forth. Today is the Best Progressive White Male Volume 1 mixtape, where we'll go through progressive voices that go through the facts, show you the facts, and oftentimes can entertain you while they're doing it. And let's get this thing kicked off. Number one on my list, ladies and gentlemen, this is no particular order. So don't think I've got these ordered by who's the best and all that. They're all great. They're all doing a service to fight the machine that keeps trying to propaganda us with right-wing bull jive, telling women they don't need to work. They just need to stay home, raise kids. Well, hardly any woman can afford to do that. Hardly any household can afford to just have the man working while the woman stay home. That's number one. Number two, we should not be subjugating women to just one damn option, because now you make them a slave. If all they're going to be doing is raising the kids and they don't have skills to work, they have to go through emotional sabotage, financial sabotage, and abuse that they should not have to go through. We should be equipping people to be the best human being they can, and then they make choices that align with their life. And the best choice we can make to align with our lives, ladies and gentlemen, is arming ourselves with the truth and then voting accordingly. And since real TV media won't do it, it's up to us progressives to do it. And that's why I highlight these great content providers. So number one on my list, ladies and gentlemen, is that homie, Dean Withers, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at how he get down.
Why did you vote for Trump?
Well, I voted for Trump because I didn't really like the whole Biden administration because it presented weakness.
Okay, so what specifically about the Biden-Harris administration presented weakness?
Well, just that, they wanted to help everybody they could.
So you think, okay, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Did Jesus want to help everybody that he could?
Well, I don't really know if Jesus was actually alive. Can't prove that.
You just said that you were a Christian.
Well, yeah, that's what I align with.
So if you're a Christian, that means that you believe Jesus was alive.
Well, I believe in what I know for a fact.
So then you wouldn't be a Christian.
Then I guess I wouldn't be a Christian.
I'm so sorry. You're just racking my brain. This is hell for me. Do you guys see what I go through with some of these guests?
You see, folks, you see why I say MAGA and Republicans believe and live by, I'd rather have hate than food on my plate. He just said Joe Biden was weak because he wants to help people. Where we do that at, folks, everybody needs help. I don't care if you're Elon Musk, who just got help from the SEC by repealing the rules to help him become a trillionaire, and Donald Trump help, or if you're the person who has to go get food stamps. We all need help. Part of what the government should be doing is ensuring that it has a citizenry that has the help it needs to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. The only people getting happy, and you can't tell they're happy, is the rich people. And you can't tell they're happy because they run around here acting like that someone is trying to attack them. When they've got more money, the top 10% of people in America, folks, have more wealth than the bottom 60%. And my main man, Dean Withers, exposes these people in a way that you want to see a whale's butthole. He can do it. So be sure to go like him. Remember, everybody link is in the video description. Dean Withers is that dude. He's progressing. He's helping the youth make better choices and use fact to understand how this broken wheel of capitalism works and how to circumnavigate the lies that people tell you, the lies that people do monkey double backflips to try to make you believe that the way they feel should be how we govern the nation. Next on this list, young ladies and gentlemen, is someone that you all probably know as well. I'm going to save the two underground white progressive guys for the end because they're going to make you laugh and you're probably going to be shocked by these dudes. But the next two are people that are in the mainstream often. And this next brother, he's smooth with it. He's suave. Tyler Cohen, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, look, the reason that Bill Pulte's in this position is because he is willing to be a hack for Trump. I mean, when he was in his previous position at the Federal Housing Finance Agency, he launched these high-profile investigations and ultimately offered up criminal referrals of a bunch of Donald Trump's opponents, Letitia James, Lisa Cook, Adam Schiff. And so he is willing to be a hack for Trump. And so that's what he wants. And if he has the opportunity to get somebody like that who has adherence to Donald Trump and not the Constitution in a position like the DNI, then he's going to be perfectly willing to do that.
The reason why I like him and why you guys should follow him is everybody on this list goes by facts. Nobody on this list is going to tell you something where they just pull it out of their ass and tell you it's the sunshine. They're not doing that. They are going by statistical facts, oftentimes provided by Trump's own government, where Trump will allow it. But BTC is a fighter. And when BTC gets on TV, he's fighting. He's not trying to be nice. He's not trying to play patty cake. He's not trying to sit up there and make friends with folks that are trying to harm you through their policy. He is in their face. He does his policy. And folks, let me just tell you this about all these dudes. MAGA men always tell you they're alpha males, right? They're always trying to tell you that. None of these guys on the list have to tell you that they're alpha males because they exude it. And BTC does a great job of exuding he's an alpha male without having to tell you through the way he conducts himself. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know if you follow BTC. He's a good one to follow. Next on my list is a young brother that you guys seen recently who's powering that young generation, who recently was on Abby Phillips' show and made waves because he had Scott Jennings' panty draws in a tizzy. I mean, it looked like the panty draws Scott Jennings wears was about to go up his butt crack. I'm talking about the big homie Adam Mockler, folks. Mockler, a Sakla. Let's take a look.
My entire life, Republicans have been targeting minority group after minority group. Conservatives have been getting rich and gaining power off of this, targeting immigrants, targeting LGBTQ people, women. It's been Somalis, Haitians. But the second that certain MAGA commentators are now the subject of this exact type of bigotry, they have a stunning amount of moral clarity about it. Vivek Ramaswamy only had moral clarity when anti-Indian American hatred was being spread. Republican Representative Randy Fine has a lot of moral clarity about bigotry when it's against him, but the way that he talks about Zohran Mamdani, the way he talks about Ilhan Omar is incredibly contradictory. You can't just stop bigotry from entering your movement when it's hitting you. You have to stop it at the door.
And that's big facts, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I always try to tell MAGA. MAGA loves to be racist. They love to hate minorities. They love to blame Hispanics. They'll put the blame on everybody, right? But what they don't understand is eventually power comes for you too. Power comes for the things you like. Now, Adam Mockler he does a lot in terms of getting on TV and breaking these things down in a way that everybody can understand it. But one way that I thought this would help, that what's going on now would help change the narrative, is that one thing that MAGA and these rich people have gone after is underage white women. You know, with Epstein Island and the Epstein files. And that has not yet to break through, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of the day, that is a small example of how the people in power will always come for something you want if they see that they need it. Another more pertinent example is how all these data centers are invading these flyover states. And the flyover states is like, hell to the no, we don't want it. But guess what? You gave Trump the power and they're putting them up. There's a couple of videos you can find on my channel where these data centers have gone in red states in the country, and these people do not like them. And Adam Mockler does a good job of citing these great examples. And before we move on to the next character, I'll say this. Next great progressive character. There used to be a time when the far-right Republicans did not like corporations. You know, those toothless rednecks that hang from mountains on one tooth. They used to hate corporations. There was a commercial for, I think it was Pace Pecani sauce, where the whole premise of the commercial was they was reading labels of these sauces, right? And these country Texas dudes saw the label and said, this sauce is made in New York City. And the rest of the country Texas dudes said, New York City. And then they said, get a rope, as if to hang the guy who was eating the sauce made in New York City because he wasn't eating the sauce made in Texas. Well, far right, flyover country, MAGA Republicans, they coming for your land with these data centers. The same people you claim you used to hate. You like them now because they're on your side in hating on the people you think are in your way, which is minorities, because we want DEI, diversity, equity, which means helping you too, and diversity. Check out Adam Mockler, folks. Next on my list, ladies and gentlemen, is a guy who has been on my channel before. He's a former Republican. He has a business. I've had businesses. And me and him rap because he's now a progressive. And we rap because we understand what's really going on, which is the takeover of the financial system. The turn your head to get us caught up in culture war. That does hurt us. Don't get us wrong. But while we're fighting over that, they are just pillaring the financial system. It's the big homie Dart Left, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look.
See, to you, it's a home. To Trump, it's a hostage. The problem isn't that Trump thinks his supporters will accept his hypocrisy. The problem is that he's right. People wonder, why do Trump supporters always excuse away everything he does? And this is a perfect example. He spent months talking about housing affordability, and he said,
America will not become a nation of renters. That's why I have signed an executive order banning large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. It's just not fair to the public. And I'm calling on Congress to pass that ban into permanent law, and I think they will.
Then Congress sends him a bipartisan housing bill, and suddenly it's of minor importance until he gets his voting bill. You see, to most people, that's a contradiction, but to MAGA, it's a strategy. They don't evaluate the statement, they evaluate the speaker. That's why they've all become Trump interpreters. Every contradiction gets translated, every broken promise gets explained, every failure is part of some bigger plan. Because once loyalty becomes more important than results, hypocrisy stops becoming a problem and it becomes a feature. And that's how a housing crisis can be an emergency one day and a minor importance the next day without costing him an ounce of support. And remember, I'm not the dark left. Together, we're the dark left, the defiant left. Please join us in helping to call out the bullshit and bring some sanity back to the conversation.
Shout out to my big homie. I'll get him back on the show. But, I mean, that is just a microcosm of what's really going on, people. The real issue behind even what he said is the mental disorder behind people who do monkey double backflips to continue to support Trump and MAGA-ism. The people who feel like we don't have the power to make things equitable for everybody are the problem. 90% of why things are not fair in the world, because, you know, you always hear a professor or a teacher say life is not fair. And he's true. But 90% of why it's not fair is because we as human beings make it unfair. Capitalism is a construct made up by man, by men who had power and money to keep them in that situation. And we have the power to vote to fix it so that we all have more power, but we won't do it because the emotion of hate for some people, those that love Trump and how he uses that hate to control people, continues to win, even to this point. And Dart Left does a good job of articulating that. So go shout out, go subscribe to my big homie. Now we get into the nut cutting, ladies and gentlemen, to the people that would shock you how progressive they are. And I am Lamont Tyson. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Everybody's link is going to be in the video description. This is my boy Eric Stone, who he finds people and their hypocrisy online that are racist. And he eats them alive. And he dates a woman who made the list for best progressive black female. He actually dates Miss T, Therese. I know y'all love her. And if y'all didn't know, these two are together. So that's why you see them having great, great videos put out. So take a look at my boy Eric, and let's see if I can get him on the show one day too.
Look at this cute picture. Oh, it's a white mama and her biracial child. Gorilla, wait, why would you send all these texts to the man that birthed your children? Your kid gonna be an ugly motherfucker. Woo! We got some drama. Court gonna get ugly as fuck, meeting with the prosecutor next week. Oh my god, this is getting crazy. You know what? Let me just call the man. You guys been separated for how long?
It'll be a year. It'll be a year in July.
When did you find out she was being like this?
When she found out that I was having a child, she just went in.
Oh, I get it now. You're mad that he left your ass and left you for a black woman. Guess she wanted that baby really bad. She's a retarded gorilla. Now, how are you gonna say something like that when you got black women in your comment section saying they miss you and love you?
And the court gave me custody.
Damn! You know, this is a lot of winning. I need an assist.
3, 2, 1. What percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
So
80% of blacks do not have a stable father around. It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women that they have impregnated.
Be like her oldest daughter, man. I treat her like my own.
I wonder how the racist white media is going to spin that one. And where's the white daddy? Doses.
Y'all see why I follow him? He does a great job, and he does it so quick. Folks, that whole video was 1 minute and 19 seconds. And it feels like you just got damn near a 30-minute segment out of him. But he just broke down something. That whole statistic Charlie Kirk gave was a lie. 20%, that's a fucking lie. Number one, the greatest impediment to people doing better is lack of education. That's number one. Not being educated. And being educated doesn't mean education. It just means being educated of how our society works to help you progress. We need more people who are educated about the stock market, about the financial system, so you quit voting your power away to dopes and orange people like Trump. Eric does a great job of finding these racists and picking out the hypocrisy. You see that lady? She posting pictures of fat apes in bikinis and panty drawers, and her ass is in jail. You see that? You see how this works? Then the dude is taking care of a white baby. All right. But yet black fathers is the problem. Yeah, man. It's mind-blowing how people come to these conclusions. And oftentimes, like we say, it's mental health. And then when they realize that they've been duped, they fight the idea of getting on the straight and narrow. They fight it because they've been living this way for so long. But folks, you don't have to live your life like the special needs. Come out of that attic sometime. Get some air. Learn. Repent. Do better. It's possible. Last person on my list, ladies and gentlemen, is someone who does not look like he should be on the progressive list, which goes to show you never judge a book by its cover. Judge the book by the first 10 pages at the very least. It's my big homie from Texas. Texas Paul, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not following this guy on IG, everybody that you see up here is on IG. You're missing out on a treat. In this video, he's going in on MAGA white women, giving away their vote and their autonomy. It's good. It's funny. He don't look like he progressive, but damn it, he is. Take a look.
You know, conservative white women have to be the dumbest damn creatures on the planet. They do. This is Old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today. Yeah, you know, we sat here, people like me, for years before they did it. They kept telling you, look, they're saying they want to overturn Roe. They want to overturn Roe. All them dumbass conservative white women, oh, you're just being hyperbolic. They're never going to do that. No. Well, they did it. They did it. We kept saying they're coming after your birth control. They're coming after your birth control. Look at Tennessee. Look at all these red states coming after your birth control. White conservative women still, oh, now you're being hyperbolic. Then, and here they are doing it again. I am telling you right now, you dumbass MAGA twat, they want to take your right to vote away. They're already selling it to their idiot, bigot, white male base that they need to speak for their house. The man needs to make the decision. They're going to take your right to vote away. You stupid MAGA twat. What is it going to take for you to stand up for yourself? For Christ's sake.
I love that dude, man. The thing, Texas Paul, his link is in the description, folks. They don't want to stand up for themselves. They have made this menagerie in their minds that all the women should do is relegate herself to the man, take care of the babies, and that's it. And that's fine if you have a man that you can rely on, you can trust, that is supporting the household and is helping out and allowing you to have mental health clarity, mental health time, encouraging you to stay educated in case something happens. My perspective on that is no man should want to see his woman not be able to step up and take care of the household, because what happens if you get injured? Historically, the man dies before the woman. So what, you want her to just be ass out of luck when you die? What if you get an injury on work? What if you get into some kind of confrontation with MAGA? Because we see how MAGA loves to create confrontation and then somehow or another seem to get away with it. And your wife is left to have to pick up all the pieces and she's not educated or in a position where she can do it. You're shooting yourself in the foot. And now you've got these trad wives, MAGA women that Texas Paul called out beautifully, giving away their autonomy and basically saying, I'm just going to let the men do everything. Well, that's stupid. If we had more progressive, now mind you, folks, I said this list is progressives, not liberals. Big difference. I don't fucks with liberals. I fucks with progressives. If we had the mindset and the competence of progressive women, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in the first place. We wouldn't. And now you see the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the women with these MAGA women who are literally giving away their vote. They gave away bodily autonomy. And we see MAGA men trying to give away power. So it's like a big MAGA situation going on all up in that piece. And so we have the power, folks, to do better. I'm going to need y'all to start voting for candidates who don't take PAC money. Sadly, the only people I see doing that are either third-party candidates, which is never going to help, or Democrats, which can help. I don't know any Republican who doesn't take PAC money, because at the end of the day, the Republican males, white males' God is money and power. It's not the Bible. It's not Jesus Christ. It's money and power. And until we can put them in their place, we're going to be having an uphill fight to get to the point where beef is not more than minimum wage. There was a report, folks, that came out this week that says you can work 1 hour and you can't not afford a pound of beef. And that's sad. And that's Republican MAGA policy, and we can rate it in. That's going to do it for me today, folks. Let me know if you watch any of those progressive voices. Their links will be in the description. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'll be trading tomorrow at 9:30. I'm out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.